From the command center of JW Solar USA, we're gonna conduct the test. This is part 2 of the first video, and you can see the batteries are showing float here. We can try to deplete these batteries, and maybe we can have an accurate reading when they start charging again. All right, there's the false balancing we're doing. We'll discharge and charge. Here, the transformer we already wired right there, and the plug is here for the inverter, the 230 volts, right there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn on the app, the tablet right now. There's a Samsung tablet I got for that device. So here is the Blue VICTRON Connect app I already downloaded. So we're gonna see, you have to turn the Bluetooth, which is up there, and the location. There you go. They're coming up. These are the device. This is the Phoenix, which is the inverter. This is the charge controller, and here's the shunt. So now it says 100%, 14.4 is the charge, and we're on float mode. It's only 7 watts. Remember part 1, you see the clouds there, is the same day I'm recording this video. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna see, clicking that charge controller, we give us the power coming from the solar, and we can see what it is, and from there, so I think it's a 7 watts on then right there. So it's floating. So we can see if we're gonna gain something from this. Okay, so this is the history. We've been charging these batteries because it doesn't have an inverter charger. It's not a charger, it's just an inverter. So let's go back here and click into that guy, the smart shunt. It says 100%. So what I've done, I already turned off the refrigerator and 2 upright freezer, and we're gonna be running a television. Okay, it says 9 watts coming in. So we're gonna be turning the television and the water dispenser, and try to go with this guy with the 1750 watts, and we will see how everything goes. So I want to check this guy, which is the inverter, to see the meter on the inverter, what power we're gonna be start taking out from the system. Now it's asking for the password. So basically the default password for VICTRON is 6 zeros. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So push OK. Okay, so I have to come back because I had a password I already have before, so I have to go back and try to find it. Stay tuned, like and subscribe. Okay, we are back. We found the password and set it up. You can see the say Phoenix 220 360. So it's 14.1 right now. So I want to try and go sideways. There you go, with the monitor, and we're gonna initialize the power. So what we're gonna do, we already have the inverter here into 1 and 2. Like I said earlier, part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, watch part 1 first. So 1 and 2, that means the charge controller and the inverter is now on, but I can able to turn the inverter on from this side, from this meter, and you see the power, inrush power coming in here. We can set it into echo mode or on. Okay, so I was wanting you guys to see this side here in related to the power draw and the volts output, the watt, and you see the state of charge and just the volt. That's why I don't want to turn it on from the app. I can turn it manually. So what's gonna happen is already here. The switch is already on, and I'm gonna turn the inverter, sorry, the transformer, and see exactly what is happening. So I can able to turn this guy on. It cannot send power to this guy here till I turn this guy. You will see the inrush power coming in. Okay, so let's see how everything works out. I'm gonna have the power on. Is now on full. I can put it in echo, set on echo, so anything below 50 watts, then the inverter cannot recognize that. So here the power is off, and I cannot tell you the jump here, which I don't have dual cameras set up this way, but I want you to pay attention to this when I flipped the breaker. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the transformer in a count of 5, 4. Okay, watch the meter. Watch the details here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, I put it on instead of echo mode. Right now, let's see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the inverter is on. You can see 230 volts out, and now it drops to 14.3. So be 14.4. So what is happening right now, I have to turn this cord has a disconnect, a switch back there. Maybe I'll turn this guy back off, the transformer, and we can see the inrush. Let me go turn that switch on. Okay, I'm back. I already turned that breaker on, so let's see the inrush right here. Watch the 0 volt amp, and watch these guys here. Now the state is saying inverting because inverter is on the app. It went to 3,000 some hundred. Rewind the video or pause it, you will see the inrush. It takes up about 3,000, I think 700. I can't read that for you, but this is what is happening. I can hear the transformer. It gives that sound, and this one gives the click, and we are sitting here is 200 and something right there, almost 219 or 220 volts AC. The up one down here is the North America, which is the 110 volt. See what I'm saying? We're looking at the output meter. So this is the output. We didn't plug on this guy here. If we plug on this guy here, we put a meter, voltmeter is gonna read 220 volts out, while this one is 110. So 120. So we have to put it right there. It's reading at the 120 mark underneath here. So currently, refrigerator, a full-size home refrigerator, and inverter, up 2 upright freezers running simultaneously. They'll only take about 386 volt amp, which is 3 185 whatever now watts. If we go back to the app right here, okay, see, here's the load right there. We go back to the other app right here. Is the inverter. Let's see how much power we're taking from the shunt. It will tell us the watt. Okay, so right is look, that's the power. It's a state of charge, and this is pulling 300 watt from the DC side. Okay, 300 watts. It says we're going to be running those batteries, those 500 amp hour battery for 20 hours and 48 minutes if we're running the same loads. Time since we last charged, and it's counting now, is like saying 3 minutes. When we turn the system on, it's going to be telling us how much power we took from the system, accumulated hours, amp hours, and the discharge amp hours. This is the graph. Okay, we want this like for voltage. It shows us the voltage on the corner, and we can see this here for the amps. We can do that as well. So it tells us the amps right here. See how much amps we're drawing right now. See the line right there? So let's go back here. We are consuming minus 1.7 amps. The current right there is pulling a 22.48, 22.24 amps coming out from the battery continuously to run this system. Let's go back here and check the charge controller, what's coming out from the panels, because it's cloudy, no sun, nothing. See, default pin is telling us we have to use 6 zeros. Here goes the graph. Now bring in 26 watts. And this is what the graphs are doing. And this is what the solar is bringing in from the PV. Is 0.7 milliamp coming in, and it's converting it to the batteries to almost 2 amps, 1.8 amps. We're on a bulk charge. We were on float earlier, so there's nothing out there. I wish the sun was out so that we can able to see how much amps or watts coming out from the solar panels. Totally pitch black and cloudy out there. So this is what it is. The charge controller is still bringing 25 watts. And here you see the blue light is on. You can see it right here. We have the green light here. I can able to change now this thing to eco mode. See the amber light. And everything is just running with this system. So I'll try and set up this camera here so we can see what if we turn the water dispenser and the heater on that one, or the heater. Stay tuned. Okay, so now you've seen what's going on here. And the solar is coming 40 some volts and fluctuating. and we put in a 1.8 amp back to the battery. So this is what is going on with the watts on the solar. And if we go back to the other side of this device, you see the graph right here. Okay, the loads, amps. So if we decide to go back to the other status, we can set it this way, and get to the watt, the inverter, sorry. So that's what is happening right now. So watch these numbers while I started turning some loads and see exactly what I'm talking about here and how we go about doing this test to see how far this system can handle the loads as of now. Okay, pay attention. I'm gonna go do it. I'm not seeing what you're seeing, but okay, there goes. See that spike right there? That's the compressor for the water dispenser. And I'm gonna turn the other side of it. This is my Primo, and I'm gonna turn the other side of it, which is the heater. I can hear the inverter fan running a little bit, but quiet. And we dropped the batteries drastically to 12.81, which we put in about 861 watts, which is volt amp, which I don't see these on my other batteries. Everybody is saying the lithium iron phosphate batteries, they're very good batteries, safer, and the drop of the power was drastic compared to the other lithium batteries, lithium ion batteries I have. You cannot see that, just that drop. You can barely see that. But this is what it is, and we are pulling this kind of power. And the inverter here, quiet fans have never ever heard. And here are the batteries, cool to the touch, and we see how far we can drag these and see how much power we're gonna rebalance this system, the batteries. If I come to the point, I have to be at that point, so I have to use a BMS. You guys will see. But I'll probably do something else, reconfiguring the batteries to have them, a lot of them in parallel. So see what's the we pull in 61 amps, 61.8 amps, and right now we're sitting at a state of charge 99. Remember I said it was 21 hours, and I said if we run this load 800 and something continuously, it's gonna be a 7 hours 41 minutes. And here is the load, 858, and we pull in 60 to 61 amps continuously, and the solar is just giving us a 18 watt. Okay, it's going back to the battery at 40 watt hours, and we put in this. Well, guys, let's see. I think it's pretty interesting for a lot of you guys that doesn't have this equipment, and see how everything goes. And the state of charge is now 99%, and 7 hours 23 minutes. We already consume 7.4 7.5 amps we took from the batteries now since we started this test, and we pull in 794. The efficiency is kicking in, and 61 amps from the battery, and we are sitting at approximately 13 volts on the batteries. Remember, it was 12.7. We went almost 12 point something 3 or something, or 12.7, and now we're going 13 volts after the surge. And listen to these guys. This is the most quiet inverter ever in my life I've heard. Already have. And this is the system. And I'll give you updates as we progress for the day. Stay tuned. The water dispenser is not going to run that for long, and the water heater as well, which they're going to recycle, likewise the refrigerator and the freezer. So today is going to be the two upright freezers. Today is going to be a good time to test because no sun. We are not able to supplement at all our thing here. So we just 15 minutes when we start this thing, so it's counting here. 15 minutes 51 seconds. So it's going to tell us how many. If it's correct, it's going to tell us how long this guy is going to go. It's saying the minimum when we start, things are 12.99. The max was the minimum. This is the max. Right now I think we're sitting at 13, so it's reading at 12.99, and this is 14.4 we started with. Okay, and see how much we can go. From the last discharge, you can see the 10 amp hours. Understand? The accumulation is growing. Everything when it charges goes back to the zero. So for lithium iron phosphate, I'm seeing the state of charge is dropping. It's already 98. On my lithium ion batteries, like the Ford Focus and Volkswagen e-Golf, you can just see that drag, or LG cam at all. But I don't know. Like I said, this is our first try, and we'll see how everything works. But it's interesting to see the drop on lithium iron phosphate batteries compared to the NMC batteries. And here we can able to see exactly what is going on. Okay, so if we check on this charge controller, I already have more apps downloaded. The storage is I think it's a 16 gig on the internal, so I already had over 8 gigs download, install programs and whatever. So pretty interesting. So this is the solar voltage. This is only 0.4 amp, and we're stable now at almost 13 volts. And this is the current after the conversion of 0.10. Look how the MPPT charge controller is working. From half an amp to an amp, almost an amp and a half. So this is what it is. So let's go back to the inverter. If you find this video interesting, please like and subscribe and share. That helps a lot, so our video can able to reach other people. There you go. All right, almost pulling about 1,000, very close to 1,000 watts, and the transformer is 1750, and we are running very efficient at this moment. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching now. Stay tuned. This is what is happening right now, guys. Take a look. It's almost going to an hour. We're seeing 17 hours earlier, and now we end up having 16 hours and 51 minutes. We currently pulling 328 watts and 95 state of charge, and seeing the state of charge dropping this fast compared to my NMCs or lithium ion batteries, and it's kind of ball change right here. So I'm just kind of curious how effective or efficient is lithium iron phosphate. Like I said, this is our experience, this is our journey to lithium iron phosphate, and this is the first time we started putting load into this, and see we pulling 326 watts respectively. So let's see how many minutes since we started. If you look at here, it's going to say 55 minutes, almost 56 minutes right now, 56 minutes. And we already pull 19, we already pull about 5% of the capacity.